Do you believe in the patriarchy theory? Or do you believe that there's a patriarchy?
It is objective that our society is patriarchal.
It's objective.
We literally are defined in every history book as a patriarchal
Stinky Fingers
society.
donated $200. Not being able to adequately annotate your opinions as a speaker in this podcast does not infer misogyny.
Okay.
This is your moment to be heard, and as guests, failing to be correct says something about you.
Okay, Sticky Fingers, thank you. How do you define misogyny?
The hatred of women.
Okay, so how have I hated women?
I didn't say you did. I said you're benefiting from the hatred of women.
No, but you said okay, but that's a different conversation.
Oh, you mean like saying, okay.
You said that the podcast is
Well, then,
misogynistic.
so are you, by your own admission. That makes you a misogynist.
Don't engage on that.
Maybe I should rethink my phrasing there then, because I think saying the podcast is misogynist implies that you are a misogynist and you're out with the intention to degrade women and whatever. And whether or not I believe that, I'm not going to accuse you of that. So if that's what you're defining the podcast as being misogynist as, I would say maybe it's not. But you are, without a doubt, you can't even deny that you are benefiting from people who have negative opinions of women and negative biases towards women. Whether that makes the podcast itself misogynist, I guess, is up for debate. Like, I don't know.
Wait, so I have a question.
Yeah.
If a National Socialist, do you have like a Cash App or a Venmo or something?
I do.
And they were to just send you, are you in content creation at all, or?
A little bit.
Do you have any, like, a link tree that links your Cash App or Venmo or anything like that? Let's just say they found it and the National Socialist sent you $200. You're benefiting from a Nazi.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between Okay, so these people who are sending you money are frequent viewers. They like your content, they engage with it, they enjoy it, they come back for more. If someone were to randomly find me and send me $200 just because whatever reason, that's not the same thing. It's not comparable. Like, these people are your fans. They are your viewers. They most likely agree with a good portion of what you say, otherwise they wouldn't be watching.
You go to UCSB, right?
I do.
So you pay tuition to UCSB?
Yes.
Okay. So I would argue that the feminist studies program at UCSB, and all, there's women's studies, feminist studies at every single university in this country. There's no corresponding men's studies at any university, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. Then aren't all these universities misandrist because they're benefiting from the tuition that these feminist studies majors are putting towards these universities? So every single university, every single system is just a man-hating system, and they're all benefiting from feminist misandry. And
well, I don't agree that feminism is misandrist.
It absolutely is.
Well, we disagree, so you can't argue on that point because I just don't agree with that.
Well, let's talk about patriarchy a little bit then.
Yeah.
So you were about to define patriarchy. I don't know if you finished.
Noah donated $200. So if I say that all women are dumb, I'm a misogynist. But a woman can openly say all men are dumb and no one bats an eye. Double standards abroad, boys.
So no women here, to clarify, are saying all men are dumb, because I don't believe that. I absolutely do not believe that. I don't believe that all men are dumb. I don't believe all men are bad. I don't believe in categorizing people.
Are you less safe at night because of men?
From a statistical standpoint, yes, because men...
It's a bit racist, or sorry, not racist. It's a bit sexist, don't you think?
Well, is it sexist or is it objective in the sense that majority of assault... Okay, for example, at UCSB, Elliot Rogers.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about Elliot Rogers. Okay, never mind. We're not allowed to talk about it, but that's a perfect example of women and men being unsafe because of someone with misogynistic perspective.
Yeah, let's talk about Mattress Girl then, and talk about how many of these false allegations come out of these women who make these pretentious SA claims, which are completely and totally unfounded, which ruin men's lives.
I think that is terrible.
Has complete and total control over throwing them out and ruining their lives, absent any criminal investigation whatsoever. Let's talk about that.
Statistically, that is much less likely than a SA allegation being founded in truth, and majority
prove it.
Okay.
Prove
Statistically,
that false allegations are more common.
Yeah, like
you prove it.
I know so many women.
So here's the thing: we can prove it. So let's take a look at it objectively.
Go ahead.
When you say SA, you also will make the bold claim then these are consent claims where you will claim that a woman, after she's engaged in the deed, can take consent away. Yes,
disagree.
they do it all the time, and you know that's done.
I am not that woman, and I would
I'm
argue
not
that
saying
is
you
not
are,
majority
but I
of
just
women
want you
that
to
do
acknowledge that is done.
I'm sure it has happened the same way that men have gone and actually assaulted certain women. Absolutely. And majority of those cases are never reported.
Women. I have no dispute with that claim.
And majority of men who are essayed, it's by other men.
It's neat that you will only acknowledge that men are engaged in this SA culture, but you don't acknowledge that the counter to this is that women often make up these false SA assaults.
When did I not acknowledge that?
Absolutely no way to have any recourse, because it's done outside of even a criminal justice system.
This is what I was talking about when I feel like this podcast is just telling me my opinions. I completely disagree.
I'm not telling you your opinion.
I completely disagree with women doing false accusations. I think that is a horrible thing to do to someone else. It is not something I would ever do, nor do I agree with, nor do I promote. I think there should be full criminal investigations. I think there should be
why do I get the feeling that you have a woman's right to choose sign up, but you've never had a let's investigate the men who are falsely accused of SA?
I would 100%, if there were men who were falsely accused of SA, I would 100% be in support of promoting further investigation into those cases, the same way I would promote further investigation into any SA charge.
And I think one of the issues is we're trying to talk about like an issue that can be prominent to women, and it's being overridden by, but what about this? When we should be discussing like one issue at a time.
Yeah, but that's
let's
what
put our
aboutism
focus
to
on one
begin
thing,
with.
and then we put our focus on the next thing.
Yeah,
but it's a whataboutism to begin with.
And then you're
so
also,
if you're going to use a whataboutism as your argument, it's fair play to use a whataboutism back against it.
And sure, but you're also telling me I have a different political ideology that I haven't discussed on and I haven't spoken on because I believe.
Let me just ask you directly so that I'm not strawmanning anything at all. Are you pro-choice?
For me personally, I am pro-choice. I personally would choose to not have an abortion, though. For me personally,
but
I think under the United States clause of privacy, under the United States clause of privacy, I believe women have the right of privacy to their body and their own autonomy choice. Whether or not I would do it myself is a different conversation. I personally think I would not be able to live with that because I very deeply want to be a mother. And I think.
And have you engaged in political activism?
No.
Never?
I mean, not to a sustainable capacity. No.
What does that mean?
I'm not in politics.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you've ever engaged in political activism. Have you been out there marching with BLM? Have you been doing things like this ever?
Maybe when I was young.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. And have you ever marched for any men's rights advocacy whatsoever, ever?
I don't see the relevance if it's not something I
have you or
actively
haven't
do.
You?
I just don't see the relevance.
Because the relevance is showing you this, that it's interesting that on the one hand you say, I'm totally against all of these things.
Okay,
but when you're
then
engaged
give
in
me
political activism, hang on, I'm trying to tell
finish.
you so that you know. Do you want to hear the answer or not?
Go ahead.
When you say, I'm engaged in all this political activism, or even a minor amount of political activism, that the political activism that you're engaged in is never for men's rights advocacy, while at the other corner of your mouth you say that you would be for men's rights advocacy under these certain conditions. But of course your political advocacy never reflects that. I
actually have advocated online several times and in several conversations on my social media platforms. I do poetry on TikTok as well as live discussions on my TikTok. I have talked about how men's unalive rates are extremely high in our country, and that is a problem I am very passionate about. And I have seen a lot of men.
I'm guessing you blame it on the patriarchy, right?
Why are you guessing what I am doing? Why are you telling me my opinion?
I'll just ask you directly. Who do you blame it on? The patriarchy or feminism?
I would never blame. I would never blame such a horrible issue.
Andrew, she says you're not a good debater.
I would never.
Really a bad debater.
I would never blame such a sensitive and horrible issue on any specific thing.
Is to guess at them because she won't tell us them. She hides them.
I just told you.
And she hides them on purpose. Every time I've asked a probing question, it's always hidden. It's always a word
Okay,
salad.
So let's unpack.
Let me just ask you directly.
Please.
Are you a progressive feminist who is pro-choice, who believes that a patriarchal system is oppressing women or not?
Those are two specific blanket terms, and I don't
so
agree with
answer
blanket term
two
ideology.
specific questions then. Do you believe that a patriarchy is oppressing women, and are you a progressive feminist who is pro-choice?
No.
Okay, so you're not pro-choice?
I am pro-choice, but these are such
and are you
specific.
A progressive?
You had
You
two
are boxing
questions in there
people.
to get an answer out of her and then corner
You
her.
are
Yeah, it's
boxing
impossible to
people
get an answer out of her.
Because life is not
To
so
corner her.
black and white. People can have
It's
different
not,
opinions.
okay.
People can be pro-choice for others and personally pro-life. People
Yeah,
can
I'm not
believe that
disputing the
men have
nuance. I'm just
problems
asking
in
if you're
society and
pro-choice.
women have problems in society. I believe that many groups of people suffer in their own unique way. I think that is really invalid to do such drastic blanket terms on such vast issues, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay, let's try this a different way then. If you had to choose between progressive, liberal feminists,
Why do I
or
have to choose?
conservative, or if you had to, it's a hypothetical, or traditional values female, which one would you pick?
I would pick neither.
If you had to.
Why do I have to? There's no world in
Because
which I
that's
have to.
the point of the hypothetical.
Yeah, but you're
if you had to.
instigating. You're instigating on things that I don't politically align with.
Just
It doesn't
engage.
matter.
Just try to engage in the hypothetical.
Okay, maybe it doesn't matter, but a hypothetical is designed to test your logic. So
Breakfast.
let me ask the
Breakfast
gal in
question.
yellow who thinks that I'm a terrible debater. Same question posed to you. Let's see if you can answer it. Traditional, tradcon, traditional conservative values. You believe in conservatism. Progressive feminist. You had to choose the label. Which one do you choose?
Like if I had to choose which one I am,
Yeah.
progressive feminist.
Yeah, exactly. So now back over to you. Now that you saw that somebody can actually give a straight answer, which one would you choose?
I'm declining this conversation.
Yeah, that's
I don't
right.
agree.
Because
I don't
you don't
agree
want to be
further.
honest.
Light
It
that
has nothing
cigarette.
to do with honesty. It has
Light it up,
everything to
Andrew.
do with me personally aligning with certain political ideologies
Not
that
saying
don't,
you do. I'm saying
that
if you
don't
had to choose
coincide.
between the two, hypothetically, you only have these two to choose from. Which one would you be more aligned with? You don't know? You don't even know? You engage in political activism, you don't know which side you're more politically activated on?
When did I say I engage in political activism?
I just got it out of you 5 seconds ago. Asked you if you marched with Black Lives Matter. Said, sure, when I was younger, that's political activism. So now back to this. If you had to choose between the two, which one would you choose?
You got this. I believe in you.
Guys, that's so condescending. My point is that two things.
You got this.
Condescending.
Two things.
Just answer
can
the question.
coexist.
Holy shit. It's
But
hypothetical
why-
though if you had to pick. Oh my God, fine. She won't do it. Okay, hold on. Let me read one chat. Isaac, weird because TikTok literally is full of misandry, man-hating women, and those account holders with millions of followers are making bank. I only see women in the comments agreeing, and if any man chimes in, he's doxxed. Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate it, man. Absolutely true. TikTok will suppress anything that's misogynistic, but it'll absolutely elevate misandrist things. And you can. This is actually evidenced. I don't know the exact keywords, but you can search for like hashtags. And I think a hashtag. I don't know exactly. I don't want anybody to quote me on this. It's either men are bad and then women are bad, and you can't even search for women are bad, but you can search for men are bad, or it's I think men suck versus or hashtag men suck, hashtag women suck. You can't even find any results for women suck, but men suck totally fine. Isaac, thank you very much for that.